Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! No! Planet where apes evolved from men.
The only good human is a dead human!
Apes! Do not want war! Damn you! God damn you all to hell!
So, hello everyone, I am Bill Worster, aka Zazubaar. It is the final day of Talking Apes. Day 8? I'm
Fucking
positive
dumb.
that it's day 8. And,
Yeah.
And
There are 8 of these fucking movies. So.
and joining me to confirm my positivity, Dylan McCandless, Super DM64.
Hi everybody. It's fucking over. We're gonna record this commentary, and then we're done. So.
Well, actually, we're going to do a bunch of addendums to these at some point, in the not too distant future, on the animated series and on the live action TV series. So it's not over yet, but we'll get there down the line. But it's over for now because that was a lot. Oof.
And on a 30-second clip from Spaceballs, can you imagine? Can you imagine if we uploaded that as a commentary? Just that scene.
Maybe we'll do that as an addendum to this in the not too distant future. But again, we're focusing on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes at the moment. So, Dylan, that's the last thing that happened in this franchise before we get to what is being called the end of the current Planet of the Apes storyline. The Caesar trilogy, as I guess it's going to be referred to in retrospects to come. So
As of now, this is my favorite of the 3. We'll find out if that holds up later
my
on.
God, you're just jumping right into this. Holy shit, just throwing your big fucking opinions around like a fucking thick, meaty chimpanzee cock.
Yeah,
we know that gorillas have small penises. Do chimpanzees have small penises as well, or do they have meaty cocks?
I don't know. That is not a factoid that I have ever heard.
You should maybe make more of an effort next time. Anyway, so
But bonobos have got to be packing. They're just going all day, every day. That's all they do. They just pick bugs off each other, eat, and then they fuck. You know.
that's not an assurance of size. Anyway, so Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is I would compare it like we compare Rise of the Planet of the Apes to Batman Begins, or more accurately, the people who made that movie did in its intention. And I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the Dark Knight. You know, you take the ideas that were in the last one, and then you extend them out a million times fold. You know, take it in a bold new direction that builds on what we did last time.
This was and continues to be my favorite film of 2014. Wow, 3 fucking years ago. It's hard to believe. We saw this at G-Fest, as a matter of fact, and boy, it just blew my socks off. Holy shit!
This movie definitely has a cool little place of remembrance for me because we saw it at that first G-Fest trip, and it was so fucking good. It blew us away. So it definitely only made the trip better, and it also did a really good job of not making the last one look worse, or it felt like a really good continuation, and it felt right. It just felt proper and well done and classy. These movies just have this effective emotional way of storytelling that always works, and I think that this one only works better, if not just maybe more ambitiously than Rise did. But I think that Rise, in some respects, is maybe more ambitious in that it takes place over a grander period of time and is telling maybe a more expansive story. However, this movie is more intimate, cuts deeper, and has a more kind of political and interpersonal, I'm going to say interpersonal drive, because it's about relationships between characters. Not all of those characters are people necessarily.
Right. Well, both of the films, each of them has a unique challenge at hand. the challenge that Rise had to face was setting up this world. And the challenge that Dawn faces is, okay, now this world's been set up. We've got this huge sandbox to play with. Where the fuck do we go now?
Yes, and I think that was an element of the pre-production that we can talk about at the beginning here as the credits roll and as they summarize what happened in the last one, and as we kind of get into things. So in the meantime, I hope you've all gotten your copy of the movie ready to go, whether that be DVD, Blu-ray, International Space Satellite in Space, whatever. We certainly have that ready to go. So, Dylan, is there anything else you want to say before we dive right in here?
No, I think we've set it up pretty nicely.
All right, let's do it. Let's press play in 3, 2, 1, play. So I was just thinking about this, and I mean, this doesn't really have a bearing on this one in particular, but I do think that it's worth saying now that this is the last day that we're doing this. None of these movies are outright awful. Like, I don't like 2001 really at all. But it's not like an awful movie, you know? Like, it's not a just downright, ugh, you know?
Yeah. Well, I certainly can agree that that's the weakest of all the films.
Certainly. I mean, we're not gonna disagree on that point.
But it has a lot of interesting elements, and so I can watch it and be like, oh, that's neat, that's cool, look what we did there.
I came out of it enjoying it more when we did it on this, so without question, I can see that. I think that's a testament to this. Do you think it's a testament to this as a concept?
That nobody's really made a god-awful movie out of it.
Yeah.
Even at its two lowest points, which is obviously bad.
Yeah.
The other one. Yeah, perhaps, there are some concepts like that just sort of work.
What's another example of that, do you think? Maybe it's Bond? Like, even the worst Bond movie is like, okay, but this is still Bond. There are awful Bond movies, though. But the worst ones are the ones that aren't official. Like, all the official ones, I think, are like, all right, this is a Bond movie, all right.
Well, I was recently watching an interview with one of the people who played the Doctor in Doctor Who. I don't remember which one. I think it might have been 4. And he was talking about how nobody's really ever failed at playing that part. And I got to thinking about it, and there are bad episodes of Doctor Who occasionally, but there's not a single actor in that role that I think I've ever disliked. You know what I mean? There's just something about the idea of that character, and I think it's a similar situation with the concept of Planet of the Apes. Something about it just works on a fundamental level.
In a sense of the conceit of why and how we're telling this story makes whatever you do with it, just kind of inherently interesting and inherently, it's like, oh, I get it, Like we're doing a dark commentary on humanity with another race of beings that is inspired and influenced by us because they're so close to us relatively, and we kind of, grew up hand in hand, so to speak. So I do think we should talk about this a little bit, this little preamble explanation of what went on, both at the end of the last one and in between the two. It's sort of a recreation of what you see at the end of the credits of the last one, but it has a different feel. It's more somber. We talked about this last time. Like that one's more bombastic. This is more somber.
It's really tragic that I'm sorry for anyone who didn't have the opportunity to see this movie in theaters back in 2014. But my God, what a theater experience! Just those opening,
Oh my God, this title sequence. You and I were like, we looked at each other at that moment and we were like, oh shit,
we're in for a good ass movie.
And then that just right into it. Like, the last one, it opens in the jungle, and you're like, okay, there's going to be a lot of prologue here. And there is. It's all good, but there's a lot of prologue. This movie, it's like, nope. Caesar hunting fucking deer in the in the woods of California with his tribe of
Look how much this movie has already managed to establish. We can clearly tell based on the fact that he's wearing face paint. It looks like they might also have some paint on their chests. We can clearly tell that they've advanced as a society before they've even done anything.
Yeah.
Using the sign language here.
and it's clearly got like significance in terms of like who's who and what their rank is. Like Koba's got a little mark on his little paint, and Caesar's got a little mark to indicate he's the leader. It's definitely there's a lot of insanely good visual storytelling in this movie. That's also in the last one, but I think this one,
Koba is clearly the Aldo in this situation, not just in what he winds up doing later on in the film, but also it seems his role in the society is sort of that of a general. I get the feeling,
Absolutely, he is definitely the Aldo. He was, and it's a perfectly natural and sensical progression from where he was in the last movie. When he was knocking Jacobs off the bridge.
Now, there's one tiny thing I can gripe with the visual effects in this film is that while all the apes look fantastic, the deer not as good, and then the bear is not so great here in a moment.
These deer kind of remind me of the deer from Kong Skull Island, the ones that get blown up by the seismic charges. They don't look that great either.
Yeah. It kind of puts me in mind of, you remember how bad the dinosaurs suddenly looked in Jurassic World?
Like the Gallimimus running alongside the truck?
Yeah, that was pretty god-awful.
Or the T-1000 effect in Genesis.
Everything else in this movie, looks great.
Yeah, and again, I just think Matt Reeves as a director brings a unique flavor to this. I kind of like that they switched directors. I could have almost gone for like maybe another switch for the third one to kind of go for that Star Wars thing. But I like this one so much that I think that it's in such secure hands with the third one. So I guess we should talk about that since we're still...
Yeah, Matt Reeves. What a name to watch out for now with these movies. Wasn't he the one who also did Cloverfield back in the day? Wasn't that?
Yes, that is him. Yeah, I forgot about that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he does Cloverfield, and then I kind of forget about him, and then all these years later, he makes this fucking thing, and now we got War coming out, and he's going to be doing Batman. Like he's somebody to watch out for. He's on the list.
So as I was saying.
Struck down in the prime of his life.
Rupert Wyatt directed Rise of the Planet of the Apes with the intention of like telling an independent story that would set up the foundation for a whole sandbox of other stories. And the one that they most directly kind of were like, oh, this is where we want to build to, is the astronauts that they put into space in the last one. So the idea is we're going to get to a version of the 68 story eventually, is kind of the plan. But after he left, apparently, he had established some different ground rules where it was like, okay, it's going to be set 10 years later, and it's going to be about the ape society starting to form, so that way one day we can get to that kind of 68 type of story again. Charlton Heston, or obviously not him since he's dead, not his corpse reanimated either, via CGI, of course. Presumably a different actor, and it became something more like this. But he left. The reasons why simply just seemed to be creative differences, and apparently when he left is when James Franco was pretty sure he was going to be not appearing or not coming back. Although when he did leave, and Matt Reeves came in, and people were asked about like, oh, are James Franco and his love interest going to come back? They were like ground zero for the virus. Like, they're definitely dead. But some people were like, oh, well, maybe that's just like shit talking because they don't want Rupert Wyatt and his buddy James Franco to come back. But James Franco was cameoed in this movie, and he was really into that when he watched this movie in a movie theater because he didn't know they were going to do that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But conceptually, again, I think the comparison to The Dark Knight is the best way to kind of break down the development of this one. It was just kind of, all right, here are the ways we can go. What's the most natural direction? And I'm really glad they didn't just jump into a remake of the original after Rise, which is what they could have done. But they decided to do the more natural thing of developing the ape society gradually and doing it as more of a straight-up story about Caesar developing said ape society and developing the groundwork for what we could eventually see in a traditional version of the original Planet of the Apes story. But there's still so much more to say even before that, as Rupert Wyatt intended when he made Rise, and as Matt Reeves clearly agrees, doing this movie and War in a very similar and faithful exploration following.
It's a bit weird here that we see Caesar's second son being born of his love interest that was cut out of the last movie. But
mostly cut out, yeah. She got named at least.
Not that big of a leap though to be like, he's got a mate now, whatever. Yeah. How do you feel about the sort of proto Ape City? It's got a bit of an Ewok village vibe going on.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. It's a good visual. It looks the closest to what we saw in Battle, and I think we should talk about it now. Battle is definitely the closest thing story-wise to compare this movies to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It is essentially a remake of Battle. It's better, a lot better.
What this movie? That's one of the amazing things about this movie. It takes my least favorite movie from the original franchise and just makes this. Like, I think this might be my second favorite Apes movie behind 68. Like, holy shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
I
so
think objectively,
good.
if you were just going to go narrative success-wise, the ones that emotionally resonate, I think you're definitely right. But personally, Rise just has this pace to me that always sticks out in a way that this movie does not, pacing-wise. It's more of a slow burn. It's more of a gradual build. But again, it's because of the kind of story it is. It's a little political drama, and that's what you want in a little political drama. So, I don't know. Personal sensibility wise, I think it might go 68, Rise, Escape, than this movie. But this is just such a fucking. Oh, it's so competent and just so.
I love this
and there's and that's another thing too. There's always some interesting ideas being discussed, and there's never a dull moment of like, oh, this is bullshit. It's like, oh, they're talking about where the hell people have gone in the 10 years since the last movie.
That's interesting. Maurice is definitely, if we're comparing this to Battle, he's definitely obviously Caesar's Virgil.
Yeah,
and then the man whose name I forget. John Connor, I like to call him. He sort of becomes Malcolm by the end of it, and then has to leave.
It's interesting that you fucked up, that you couldn't remember the character's name, and then you fucked up the character's name from Battle with the character's name from this movie. So Malcolm is the character's name in this movie, and McDonald is the character's name in Battle.
Did I say Malcolm? Shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So his name is Malcolm in this movie?
Yes.
Fuck. All right.
You are a fucking train wreck, my friend. Oh. You're lucky you're pretty.
I'd like to think this chimp is named after Bruce Campbell from...
That's a great shot when you cut past the trees and there's just this dickhead. This guy is the worst thing ever.
I like how curious Blue Eyes and Ash are, because I don't think they've ever seen an actual human before.
Likely not.
I mean, maybe they have. I didn't read the prequel novel, but
yeah, there's a prequel novel to this movie as well as War. I really want to read the one to War though, because it was written by one of the guys who worked on the book that we like.
Yeah, the guy who wrote Stone Monkey, Greg Keyes, I think his name is. Yeah,
yes,
I'm gonna read.
Go.
I haven't read that yet because I'm still working on the Stephen King book that I'm working on right now. But after that, I'm gonna tear into that thing. Because I read the back cover and it sounds super interesting. Apparently, it's about like the Ape Society still recovering from the shit that Koba does in this movie.
I like his dumb hat.
There he is. There's McDonald. I mean Malcolm.
Yeah, but the skinhead guy with the pistol. It's interesting. Like, I think he's a testament to how good this movie is because he sucks so much, but. You need a guy like him, and he works in the grander context. Like when he gets killed by Koba, the negative impact that has on the humans, is bad for everybody. Like, all the asshole characters in this movie exist for a reason, to fuck everybody else over in a way that, kind of comments on, here's how things would probably go,
Yeah.
So.
Well, what's great about his character is, every time he does something, asshole-ish in this movie, you're like, oh, that's a dick move. But then at the same time, you're always like, I don't know if I wouldn't do that in that situation, though. Like, I don't know if I wouldn't have shot that ape right there. You know what I mean? Like, probably a bad idea.
I wouldn't have shot. Yeah, I wouldn't have shot him. I would have ran, realistically.
In the moment, I don't know. I would have shot the other one, too. Like, that was dumb. Like, he could have got mauled.
Yeah, he didn't even, he shot the one that didn't hiss at him. Like, that was what was weird about it.
I think it's just a shit name.
That's a great moment as well. Because Caesar hasn't spoken yet. Oh, no, he did earlier. He called for Koba.
That's right.
That was more guttural, though. This is him speaking to a person, that's a different thing.
Oh, we just got confirmation that was our first confirmation in this movie that Koba could speak as well. That was a moment in the theater that I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, he was getting regular exposure to the more advanced drug in the last one, so that it makes sense that he's kind of more on Caesar's level than the rest of them might be.
Yeah, because at this point in the film, watching it for the first time, you don't have any evidence that any of these apes can speak aside from Caesar. They're all speaking with sign language and shit. And then when Koba yells "go," you're like, oh fuck. Like, his son can't speak yet, though, can he?
No, he doesn't until later. And by the time he does, it's interesting. I think this movie, what happens in it, forces Caesar to go, it's time to fuck off with the sign language. It's time to start just rolling with the verbal communication. Although I think we're going to see a lot of it still in the next one because...
yeah, I think there's much more of an equal blend in the next movie, is what I imagine.
Only because in a war situation, it's going to be more useful for, like, sending back secret messages and shit. What I also think is good about this movie, and a testament to how good it is that in a world of constant zombie apocalypse fare, another viral apocalypse movie doesn't feel generic, and it could have very easily, but it feels very in line with what happened in the last one. And
I think the reason it doesn't feel generic is that it's not really about the viral apocalypse. The viral apocalypse has already happened, and now it's just people dealing with it, Usually
that's what I'm saying. People dealing with that kind of thing is the forefront of so much fiction nowadays, like people surviving in an apocalyptic setting. So
right.
Making that feel unique is difficult.
When you watch a zombie movie, right, the whole point is like, oh, I got to deal with these fucking zombies, and it's sort of tied into to why the world ended in the first place. In this, it's like you've got these two factions. They both survived the apocalypse, and now that it's different. It's
even like a Terminator thing or anything where it's just like the world has gone bad and we have to scrounge together resources. It's a very popular thing nowadays. So to do it uniquely is difficult, and it's something that Planet of the Apes has not even done rather successfully. Like battle is the closest thing that this gets to, because it's the kind of middle ground between human society is, on the outs, but it's not totally extinct yet, and people are still out there fighting. And then the apes are just sort of kind of developing their way. So battle is the only time we ever saw that. As fine as that movie mostly is, it's also very flawed, and that kid wanted more nuts for his squirrel or whatever. So,
all right, the squirrel. What a terrible conceit, just to get him to where Aldo is for the.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, this is a nice little aesthetic as well. Well, one thing I'll also bring up about the development of this movie, there was an idea to have the apes wear clothes already. That seems to be something they're doing in the next one. But there was an attempt to put them into the different class, like a version of the different class uniforms that we see in the original series. Would you have liked to have seen that this early, or do you think we're going to have to build a little more to get to that? What's your thought process, D?
Yeah, even though Maurice can't speak yet, and he just uses sign language like the rest of them, you definitely get the sense that he, Caesar, and Koba are the three most intelligent ones around here, you know?
Well, he's Caesar's, like, right-hand man, like, in a way that even Koba isn't, because Koba's, like, uncontrollable. But anyway, you didn't answer my question. So, what do you think of the idea of putting them in the different class outfits this early, or do you think that we should wait until we get to that?
I think it's kind of a leap to have them wearing clothes yet. I mean, they've been in the woods all this time. They haven't even seen humans in 10 years. They don't really, it doesn't seem to me like they would have the means to start, weaving textiles, If anything, they could just have, like, very simple sort of animal skins or things like that, and that would probably be fine. But I think it would be a huge leap to have them running around in their, the green jumpsuits and the purple on the gorillas and the orange outfits for the ring. Like I think taking it slower in this scenario was the wiser thing to do, and they kind of do a little bit of it with the different, like, paint markings that they use when they're, like, hunting at the beginning of the movie and shit like that. They still convey a sense, of what the different classes, like the gorillas are down at the front guarding the place. We find that out later.
Just laying around, yeah.
They're, as far as I can tell, there's only one orangutan, or I think maybe we see some more in a little bit.
What is going to be the motivation for the technological leap, do you think?
I think it's going to come through the war. I think they're going to have to start to advance much more quickly in order to compete with Woody Harrelson.
Because this is a different version of it than the other ones, because in the original, and in the book, they kind of start off just sort of with the basis of human society, and then they go from there. In the original series, it seems to be sort of the same thing, except the lawgiver seems to, like, change it into fit his own means, and then he lies about it later.
In battle, it was all right to have them in clothes already because the humans had already been dressing them that way in Conquest. Although they presumably fucking Caesar presumably would know what the ape clothes in the future would have looked like, because he could have found out from his parents, like, based on pictures of them, Yeah. Right. Although I don't think he had never even seen them, though, until they sneak into the Forbidden City and look at those tapes.
My bad. This is a great bit as well.
I think they went into that in Tales from the Forbidden Zone. I think during the years in between Escape and Conquest, like, nobody talked about the Aponauts thing. Like, it was sort of,
It didn't happen, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters. Nobody wants to talk about it in Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman is really good in this movie. I think he's another testament to, like, how good this movie is, like, with the whole, post-viral outbreak apocalypse.
Yeah.
He could have very easily been a generic evil, like, I'm going to kill all the apes, bah! And he is that way, but he's very sympathetic.
I'm so glad that he isn't Culp, even though he kind of occupies the same role in this movie, because that means we can focus all of the villainous, time in this movie on Koba, and he doesn't just sort of come out in the third act as the villain like Aldo did in Battle.
He's less of a villain than Koba is, because Koba's more motivated by self-power than he is. Like this dude is totally motivated by the good of his community, which is much more commendable than what Koba's doing. Koba just wants revenge, and he wants power. That's it. Not at all what Gary Oldman is after. So I think that's why he doesn't even, like, even when he does something, like, kind of off at the end, like, he's not a bad guy. That's how the trailers played him up.
Yeah. They kind of made Gary Oldman seem like what Woody Harrelson is in the new movie, you know. But you know, everything he does is very understandable. I mean, at the end of the movie, you're kind of, you know, conflicted because on the one hand you're like, yeah, Gary Oldman, blow him to hell, but on the other hand you're like, wait, Caesar's up there, don't do that.
But I mean, like, even a character like Koba, you go, okay, I can kind of see that. Even the guy like the skinhead pistol wielder dude, like, you know, his wife got killed by the virus. He's probably not a very smart dude. It makes sense that he wouldn't like the apes. He's just not a type of person that I would particularly enjoy being around.
Yeah. That's what I like about this movie, man. They don't feel the need to do sort of the simple, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys type thing.
That's not a Planet of the Apes thing, is it? It's not fun. It's not fun to do it that way.
The only straight-up villain in this movie is Koba, and for the rest of it, you're kind of on everybody's side, and it kind of makes it really tragic when they're killing each other, you know?
I don't think Planet of the Apes is fun when there's just generic good guys and bad guys. You want there to be moral ambiguity, because otherwise, what's the point? You want it to be unclear if the apes are right or if the humans are right, because, like, in reality, they're two sides of the same coin. Realistically, they should all just get together as the same thing. But there's so much bullshit getting in the way of them, you know, getting along with themselves. So how are they going to get along with each other? So it's all just it's better to just do it where there's problems on everybody's mind that they're all just trying to solve, you know? Everybody's got their flaws, everybody's got their positive qualities. Koba definitely has the least positive qualities, except that he's a loyal warrior to the apes, or at least when it's convenient for him to be. But I think that he's the most sympathetic because... no, he's not the most sympathetic, I'm sorry. He's also sympathetic because of what was done to him. You know, he was horribly experimented on, as he'll get into later. Like, or I think maybe he already did it. Oh, no, he hasn't said this yet. When Caesar's like, oh, they'll do their human work. And he's like, human work?
Yeah. And then he got separated from the group and got eaten by a scroll crawler. Wait, wrong movie. Shit.
Anybody who Gary Oldman?
No, the fucking guy who plays Koba and gets
Toby
killed
Kebbell. Is that a monkey, dude?
Yeah. Oh wow, that's really funny that he said, "Is that a monkey?" and he was one.
He was an ape, Dylan.
And then they vomited up his skull. It was great.
Yum.
This is a good speech, Commissioner Gordon.
He's good at that sort of thing, isn't he? He's used to it from his Batman days.
You give him hell. He really does feel to me like Commissioner Gordon in a post-apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like, sort of the same character.
He kind of reminds me of Commissioner Gordon from, like, Batman No Man's Land, like trying to keep the city together when everything's fucked. Yeah. Everybody just feels so real, you know? The dialogue is on point. This movie is written by exactly the same people who wrote the last one, so I think that's why it feels so consistently good, despite having a unique flavor and feel because of the new director.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the vibe of War is going to be like, you know? Like, I'm wondering if it's going to feel a little different, like, because Matt Reeves is going to go, well, I did the last one and Rupert did the first one, so maybe for this third one I should try to make it feel a little different.
I don't know. It's a good question. Is there any word on whether or not the director of the first movie liked this one?
I'm pretty sure he's a producer on this one, so I would assume he was involved at least in some capacity.
Oh, okay.
Because it was his concept from the get-go, like this whole idea of doing it 10 years later and having like tribal apes going up against the remnants of human society. Oh, and the whole thing with the astronauts was always his idea. So if they ever do a version of that story, he'll have to be involved because that was all his. Is it really wise to keep your bullets in a can?
Yeah, man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
My can is the best place for my bullets.
As long as that can doesn't catch on fire, I guess they'll be all right, won't it?
So I guess we should talk about some more of the cast. We've talked about Andy Serkis a lot. There's not much else to say outside of this is what he was born to do.
Everything we said about him in Rise applies to this movie. Andy Serkis, the man's genius. We all know this. These people.
So, Jason Clarke, Malcolm, Kerry Russell, whoever the hell she is in this movie. What do you think?
I like him a lot.
Yeah, Jason Clarke is pretty good. He as an actor is better than James Franco. His character is a little more generic, maybe, in my opinion. He's kind of your generic, like, oh, I'm defending the last of my family when shit's gone bad. Great. Very relatable. Cool. Like what he's about. Good stuff. But James Franco destroyed the world with a virus. That was pretty interesting.
He's proven before that he can act even in a bad movie. So in a good movie like this one, he definitely works, you know. And she's fine, I guess. I don't really have a strong opinion about her.
Yeah, she's also not much of a character, you know. She's better. She's also better than James Franco's love interest in the last one.
The kid, I like the kid. He's all right.
I like that Malcolm isn't the protagonist either. He's just kind of like a supporting character.
Yeah.
This is Caesar's movie, man. And even if it's not Caesar's movie, it's more Koba's movie than it is like Malcolm's movie. I like that the sun never comes out. Because things are not good in this movie. Things are in dire straits, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe not so much for the apes until the humans show up, which is interesting. Like, things seem to be going pretty okay up until the rocket's son gets shot. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, even then, things are going fine until Koba decides to haul off and shoot Caesar. Like, the other thing I love about this movie is we actually got a glimpse of, like, there for a minute, you're like, oh, the apes and the humans, they're going to, like, coexist and be, like, happy. And then, like, obviously, you know that's not going to happen because you've seen the rest of these movies and you know shit's about to go south. But for a moment in this movie, it seems like it could work, you know? It's all down to that damn Koba. It's not even really the humans' fault at the end of the day.
Oh, there's a reference to the scarecrows. That's great.
Because they got to get that damn working. So
it's not a super direct nod to the scarecrows. It's more kind of subtle in its intent, but it's still good.
Just like here's some skulls. Have a skull. I think
I'd love one. Thank you.
I think we're about to run into the gorillas.
Well, this was the teaser trailer.
Or as I like to call them, the tiny dick brigade.
This was good setup because we got to see like a little glimpse of what the apes were up to while not seeing a whole slew of them, you know? It was a good teaser trailer. I need to speak to Caesar. Oh, he wasn't lying on the ground. He had a little hut. He had a little, like a little security guard station.
He kind of looks
Can
like...
I see some ID, please?
He kind of looks like Andy Serkis circa 2005.
Yeah, he definitely has a Kong vibe. You can just tell in their mannerisms that they're real apes. They're so smart. They're not acting like just dumb animals. Like, because, you know, a real gorilla would have, you know, ripped that guy apart. This one, like, stood up and went, oh, fuck, all right, let me get everybody's attention.
When he turns around and sees the gorilla, I really want somebody to dub in Bob Hoskins from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Nice monkey suit.
Please don't rip off my testicles. When you're hanging out with chimpanzees, it's something you gotta make clear. You like to keep your testicles. You'll do anything it takes to keep your testicles.
I would like it to be known that before the world ended, I donated frivolously to the ASPCA.
Do you think that Caesar is an idiot for agreeing to let them come through?
I think there's a good argument for either.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me because he's like, I don't want them to come up with guns.
I think he knows what I was saying before, that there's a chance that they might be able to coexist, and I think that's ultimately what he would like to happen, because he's still sympathetic to humanity, having grown up with James Franco.
That's without question. I'm just wondering, like, if there was a way where he could have been like, listen, you need to fuck off because these guys don't like you. But I get it. I get it because he doesn't want them to then be desperate enough to get a bunch of guns together, kill all of them, and then, you know, let them do the damn. But he also, you know, you also don't want to make the humans think that he can like they can walk all over them and do whatever they want, you know. So there's that's another thing that's good about this movie. There's arguments to be made on all sides, isn't there? I love this part. Is any of this making any sense to you? Caesar's like, yeah, the lights. Do you think this is the best science fiction movie of the last 10 years?
I'd have to look at a list, but from what I can remember...
Yeah, I'll give you some science fiction movies. Mad Max Fury Road.
Haven't seen it
yet. Interstellar.
Yeah, better than that.
Fucking... Oh, man, I had one in my head that would have been funny, but I couldn't remember the title. I fucked that up, my bad. Jupiter Ascending.
Didn't see it. From what I've heard, this is better.
Speed Racer.
Definitely, this is better.
You make compelling arguments, sir. You've bamboozled me. I think this is definitely the best science fiction movie in 10 years.
Can you really call Mad Max Fury Road a science fiction movie?
Yeah, totally. There's there's robot arms in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like steampunky and shit.
It's just more of a... Just seems like it's more of the action genre, but whatever.
Sure, it's post-apocalyptic, you know, but it's got advanced technology and, you know, steampunk and stuff, and it's a science fiction conceit of post-apocalypse, so, you know. This movie is kind of Mad Maxy.
by that argument, you could also call Logan a science fiction movie. And if we're counting Logan, then that might be the only one I can think of that competes with this.
Yeah, Logan is without question a science, but it's a superhero movie. I mean, I'm not counting comic book adaptation stuff because, that's a whole other fucking can of worms.
Yeah, if we're comparing Logan to this movie, ooh, I'm not sure.
I like this movie more than Logan.
I think this movie's
both the movie and my cat, who's named Logan.
Oh, good. Good to know that you have your priorities in order there.
Yeah, there we go. Here's the bit I talked about earlier. So I wonder if the sun has decided to stop coming out because the virus is so gross.
Wouldn't it be funny if it turned out the Co was just lying about all this shit? He got all these scratches because before the humans were experimenting on me, it was a clumsy asshole.
Yeah, he's like Vegeta in Abridged. I fell down some stairs.
I think Caesar's son is going to develop a hatred of bears. He's going to point at his chest and be like, "Bear, work!"
He hasn't been in any of the marketing. I assume he's dead before the movie really opens. I assume he died in like some earlier battle or something. I think Caesar's gonna have a I saw this confirmed earlier. I hope you don't mind. Caesar's young son is named Cornelius.
Oh, nice. Good.
And obviously you have Nova. But then you also have Luca, who's the gorilla. That's working for Woody Harrelson. So it's not Aldo, which is unfortunate, but
Do we have a name? Do we have a name for the white ape?
No, we don't. I don't know if he's going to be a character. He might just be like, oh, that's somebody in the background who looks kind of different. But it's likely that if they're going to do the lawgiver, it's going to be a reveal. It's going to be like, oh shit, this is the lawgiver.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that they're going to do this movie and, it's going to be set at this time period where it's the real, like precipice between the modern setting and the setting of the original movie and not do the lawgiver, right?
I'd like Maurice to be the lawgiver. We've already seen him teaching apes not to kill other apes.
Would it make more sense if it was like a student of Maurice's? Somebody who looked up to Maurice but not Caesar, interestingly maybe.
Perhaps. What if he had a son and he named him Virgil? And
he named him Lawgiver.
Yeah. No. Yeah. All right.
Couldn't think of a better joke.
I had an idea. It left my mind completely. I was just like, fuck it.
Spare me the hippy dippy facts. Although technically, if you want to get technical, it is Caesar's fault that the virus spread because of the gas, because he just dumped it into the fucking zoo and the chimp sanctuary. So that is his fault.
Well, no, the end of the movie seemed to put more of the blame on the pilot getting on the plane and spreading it around the world that way.
Well, sure, but Caesar definitely spread it through exposing more apes to the gas.
He might have had an effect on how quickly it spread locally, but in the global context, it's much more down to that pilot,
So let's talk about that. The virus itself, when it became a self-acting thing, presumably, because they call it simian flu. So when it acts in apes, it makes them smarter. Did it infect apes not affected by the gas and make them smarter? Is that the idea?
I guess it must have.
That's your explanation for Planet of the Apes, obviously, then. I mean, if they don't do it like that, it's kind of stupid. If it would be dumb if it's just the bouncing point of the apes that Caesar directly exposed to the gas, when you have that great conceit of the simian flu. Orangutans are so freaky looking. Like, even though I love Maurice, like, that shot of him right there, he looked, like, terrifying. Imagine waking up to that shit.
Fucking head frills, man. They look like Star Trek aliens.
I just got a lot of Bigfoot imagery right there.
He looks like a fucking Ferengi or something. Just, like, sitting outside the tent.
And I love that they're on the horses, even though we don't know where they got them.
It was fucking... for anybody listening who needs some context for that, the second time that me and Bill saw this in the theater, the whole story, he went back in to get your jacket or something, and then I'm standing out in the lobby surrounded by idiots alone, and I just hear these people having this stupid ass conversation, and one of them's like, "But here's the thing I don't get: where do they get the horses?" Or that's your question? That's the thing you walked out of this movie.
I explained it to my boss once. I was like, he was like, "How do they domesticate them?" And I'm like, "The same way we did."
They probably got them, the horses probably were already, being used by humans for something or other, and then ran off when the world ended. Here's the thing, it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah.
I mean, who gives a fuck? It's just there because, they're riding horses like they always are supposed to.
Like in this post-apocalyptic future where apes are fighting humans and Woody Harrelson's shaving his head all creepy, and your big question is, where did the horses come from?
Right. I think this is another example of, like, we talked about in 2001 how they made them more realistic in the way they move, but the swinging on the bars with their arms is something that these movies can do with the CGI. Even 2001 couldn't do it with their makeup, so that's cool. I'm hoping we get more of that in the next one because of the war setting,
Yeah. Although I've said it before and I'll say it again. Eventually, when they go to the far future and we get into our remade version of the Heston events, I would like to see the makeup come back, but whatever,
Yeah, I would like to see a mix, wouldn't you?
Because at that point, I feel like the apes would have evolved to be more, human-looking anyway, which was always what the idea seemed to be in the original movie. So it would be fine, they'd be fully standing upright, and they'd be covered in fur, and they'd have the faces, it'd be fucking beautiful.
You and I have a certain soft spot for this scene. Let's see what happens, man.
I love that guy.
This is a good example of how smart Koba is, interestingly, because he decides to put on this little act. I like this scene a lot.
Because realistically, they probably should have shot him the moment they found him.
Yeah, but he tricks them with like this sympathy for a stupid animal. Interestingly, it shows why Koba's so effective as a bad guy. Oh, this is not the scene where he goes, "Oh, let's see what happens."
No, that's later when Koba kills them.
Right, I forgot that those were different scenes. Because he comes back for the actual guns, and that's when that happens.
Yeah, he goes back and he tells Caesar, "Hey, they've got fucking guns." Caesar's like, they're over there. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's all gonna be fine. Koba's like, it's not fine. Things are not cool, Caesar.
Let them keep their guns. Let's see what happens.
And again, I totally see his point. Like, he's a spunky monkey, Just Malcolm's son is kind of another non-entity. Like, he doesn't really need to be here. I loved when he was like, "I'm going too." I wish I was in the room so I could go, "Oh, good, he'll get in the way." He doesn't really interesting. Like he and Kerry Russell never get kidnapped or anything.
Yeah, no. Well, he winds up befriending Maurice, which comes in handy later on, if I remember correctly. Or maybe
Oh yeah, when Maurice kills all that ape.
Oh yes. That's a great scene. Once Koba invades, this movie takes a turn, and everything from that point, I'm like, yes.
This looks fun. Are you claustrophobic? Are you afraid of Santa Claus, D? No.
No.
But in answer to the real claustrophobia.
I guess mildly. Like, where they just were didn't look that bad,
No, it didn't. I don't understand
little...
people who go, like, crawling through caves and stuff. That freaks me out. Because if you get stuck, you're done. Like that 127 hour shit,
Yeah, what gets me sort of squirming in my seat is like fucking what happens to fucking Uma Thurman in Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, when she gets buried alive.
I can reference that now because Bill finally manned up and watched those movies.
This is an interesting time to bring that up, but yeah. I manned up. A girl forced me to watch them. That's what happened.
You grew some fucking balls.
Yep.
So this little baby ape is still the cutest damn thing in the world. That's...
Yeah, he's pretty adorable.
Oh, it would be creepy as shit if he just started going, Mama.
You'd think that the CGI on the little ones would be worse because, they can't have a person acting out the motions as much, because you can't get a kid that small. But it doesn't. The CGI in this one in particular still holds up amazingly. Like, in the last one, there were a bunch of moments where you and I were like, oh boy, that definitely came out 6 years ago. I'm not going like, oh, this clearly came out 3 years ago at all.
No, this all looks really good. The only shit in this movie that doesn't really look good is at the beginning. We talked about the...
Yeah, we talked about the deer. And if anything, it's not even that it doesn't look good. It just looks inconsistent, with how good the apes look.
The bear, I think, even more questionable than the deer.
Caesar just punched that dickhead. That's awesome. Ooh, you don't tell an ape to say no. You don't say no to an ape, son. Like, that's fucking punishable by punch in the face in some continuities.
That wasn't really established in this continuity, though, so...
No, if anything, it's when Caesar says no to fucking Boyd Holbrook.
Boyd Holbrook?
No, that's not who that is it? They look the same. They have similar names.
Yeah, I won't lie. The first time I saw the Logan trailer there for a minute, I was like, Malfoy?
Yeah, they're not the same guy though. You're right. They look and they have similar names. Yeah.
I don't even know what Malfoy's real name is.
Me neither. I mean, I know Boyd Holbrook because of Logan, and he's in The Predator. I don't know Malfoy's real name though. Damn.
Boyd Holbrook is in The Predator?
Yep.
Nice.
Noise.
Can't wait for that. I'm gonna fucking love that movie. I know it.
Oh, that'll be good without question. I like how Caesar just grabbed his baby and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here! You fucked it up, Malcolm!" Oh, I should stop screaming. Realistically, I just realized my family's sleeping downstairs. Oof.
I've never not liked The Predator, though. Even in AVPR, all the shit with him's fine,
Yeah. It's still not a good movie, though.
No.
This is a better movie than AVPR.
What a brave opinion.
Well, I always try to be cutting edge, as you know.
Yeah. Way to reach for the stars.
While keeping your feet on the ground.
How do you think Caesar and his ape clan would deal with a predator?
Oh, there's a crossover I want now. Ooh, Predator on the Planet of the Apes? Oh, God. Yes, please. I mean, they would be fucked. There's no way they would be able to I mean, I guess they could take down a Predator in the same way that, like, Arnold did, but it'd be hard. I definitely want to see that. Holy shit. I mean, I wish they were the same company. I mean, they have to get Dark Horse and Boom Studios to team up.
I think what you'd do is you'd use the predator as an excuse to, like, have the apes and the humans form a temporary armistice, you know?
I mean, it depends on what continuity you put it in. If you put it in this one, sure, but if you put it in the original timeline, then there's no need for that.
Right, because the humans would all just be running around drooling at the mouth anyway.
I don't think the Predator would even bother with most of the humans.
No. It'd be interesting if the predator... But you could only convey this idea through prose. You wouldn't be able to do it in a movie. It'd be interesting if the predator showed up on Earth and he didn't know that the apes had taken over. He's, like, all confused.
Yeah, well, their lifespans are extended anyway, so sure, you could totally do that. Yeah, it's like 2,000 years. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if the predators live that long, but I know that they live for hundreds of years.
Even if they don't live that long, I'm assuming they probably have some sort of records about, like, the different planets they visited and, like, you know, what the species are like. So a predator, knowing what they must know about Earth, coming here and finding that all of a sudden the humans are all, you know, drooling on the floor and the apes are running around with guns. Like, I imagine that'd throw them for a fucking loop. It's like I've always wanted to see a predator show up in the Jurassic Park continuity, just to be like, holy shit, there's dinosaurs again.
Yeah.
Fuck the people, I'm on a T-Rex.
That's another one I wish they would do. IDW and Dark Horse has teamed up before. How dare you try to defend yourself?
Let's stop him from... Couldn't he just hotwire the car and leave?
Yes, but I don't think he wants to fuck up his situation even worse. Where is he going to go if he goes back to the city and he has to come up with a story as to why they're not with him then? And then eventually when Malcolm does get back and tells them what's going on, you know, he's going to be fucked. You know, he's got to try and improve his situation. He's not the problem now. Now that Koba's back and he knows what's going on, shit is about to get very real.
He could go back to town and be like, yo, Gary Oldman, I think you're right. We just need to go up there and kill them all. And Gary Oldman would be like, all right.
Yes, but if he just says, oh, I left them up there, by the way. Oh, shit. I mean, he could just say they're all dead, but again, if he's lying, it's not going to make us... I think he's trying to make amends as best as he can now. Because he doesn't have anywhere else to go. Yeah, I really like Caesar standing up to... not Caesar. Maurice standing up to Koba here.
Yeah, because Maurice could totally kick Koba's ass.
Yes, he definitely could. I would have loved to have... I kind of wish Maurice would have kicked Koba's ass before Caesar would have. Look at him! Look at him! He saunters out of the corner. He's like, bitch, you got something to say? Caesar is not having none of this. He's like, excuse you, ho. You snaggletooth fucking motherfucker.
Maybe the chimps also have small penises, because you never see anything flopping around down there. In real life...
That's what I'm saying! Adam Wingert talked about how he wants to maybe put King Kong's penis in Godzilla vs. Kong, and I'm all for it. I want to see what's going on there, you know?
We gotta have John Turturro standing under a scrotum. It'll be great.
I love this. I love how Maurice is like, yeah.
You know, if there's a male horse, you can tell. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, sure. Even on cats.
Maybe they do that thing that dogs do, where like it retracts. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's like a sheath.
A lot of animals that aren't us seem to do that. God, I wish we could do that. Don't you? Just like retractable.
I think that's probably what the foreskin evolved out of.
We just stopped needing to do it.
So while we were talking about the evolution of the penis, Caesar and Koba just had a hell of a little brawl there.
All about penises.
Well, at the end of the day, it really all is about that, isn't it? This politics shit.
That's what the scientists say.
Kobo's jealous of Caesar's penis, and he's going to take shit over. That's ultimately what it all comes down to.
It's hard to not be jealous of Caesar's penis, you know, speaking from personal experience. He's like, oh, fuck.
Even if it's just a metaphorical penis, because, I mean, when he stepped out of the corner of that room and he was, like, swagging up there, metaphorically, he had a big swinging dick at that moment, you know what I mean?
It would have been dragging, yeah, totally. Like a snail, you know?
Like a snail. Leaving secretions. Shit.
People are like, oh, Caesar's been through. How can you tell? Oh, how can I tell? Ugh. Just follow the trail.
He's always leaking that one.
like a fucking rainbow to a fucking jar of gold, you know what I mean?
He doesn't need breadcrumbs to lead himself out of a maze. He just needs a black light.
Doesn't even need that. You can just... It's there. It's easy to see.
Gee, I wonder why.
I like this bit as well. Because he's preying on his own fears. I like that Koba is like an uncle to Blue Eyes. You know? Like he's kind of like his fucked up uncle.
He's Uncle Scar.
Yeah, he is Uncle Scar in every which way but loose. No,
Quite literally, Uncle Scar. Can you imagine him, you know, running a rally of goose-stepping hyenas?
Yeah, you know what? More naturally than I would have thought. So yeah, whatever the hell this story is, it's about keggers, which is great. Oh, it's like a manga comic. Oh, he's teaching the monkeys about keggers. Oh, here's the scene that we talked about before.
He's turning Maurice into a weeb.
Well, they're never going to be able to get a reimbursement on that Humvee.
I doubt it was still running, or else they wouldn't be using it for target practice.
Guy on the right looks like somebody from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Daryl. I think it's possible.
I don't know their names. I think I know the one you mean.
I saw like one season of that one time.
Wow, you're an expert.
It's a whole lot of sitting around waiting for zombies. No.
So it's more like The Occasional Dead.
Yeah, kinda. It should really just be them walking around all the time, shouldn't it?
Should be them shrugging their shoulders going, oh, well, there's not that many zombies. Looks more like Listerine than alcohol. He used it as such.
Never realized that he called him fugly before. That seems kind of harsh. Huh? So this scene had me correct.
There was a fake video that recreated this exact scene. Did you see it online where it was like a chimpanzee, like they gave him a fucking AK-47 and he shot a bunch of guys, but it was clearly fake.
I think I might have saw that, yeah. There's a bunch where it's just like random like ape videos that you might see on the internet, and then just like the screen will change and it'll be like laugh while you can, War for the Planet of the Apes coming on fucking, you know.
I haven't seen those. That sounds funny. And that's what I want to make my life about more than the fake AK-47 videos.
Yeah, there was this one. It was like a gorilla, like in the cage, like flopping around. I think it was a real video that they just took off YouTube or something. And like these people are laughing at this ape. And then like this caption just pops up on screen: "Laugh while you can," and it's War for the Planet of the Apes. Come on, whenever the fuck that movie's coming.
This coming Friday?
Yeah, I was trying to think of the specific date, but whatever.
Oh my god, we can finally go back to Sunoco. Or a 76, whatever the hell that is. Oh, the American dream, the gas station. God, I hope we can get the key to use the bathroom. You know, that's the real quest when you go to a gas station.
Right, if they use keys. I hate the ones that use the keys.
Oh my god, gas is 6 cents. Jesus.
I think it's just missing letters, but, wow.
Missing letters? Well, even better.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Do I?
I think you do.
Unfortunately, I think
I
I
remember
do.
you could fill up your gas tank for only a nickel. I don't actually remember that, but people told me it happened. So.
Yeah, we talked about this scene a little bit earlier as well. This is kind of the bit where we're like, oh, well, maybe the humans and the apes are going to get along fine.
It's a shame that all they could find to commemorate it was country music.
It's a very awkward kind of like celebratory scene, you know, like the way they kind of awkwardly look at each other as they sway back and forth, you know.
The poor black guy, you know, he's got more rhythm than that, but he can't. He just can't.
Well, he can't with this music and this crowd.
Exactly, it's all wrong. It's all
not without a fine caramel, honey.
Fine caramel, honey.
I love how they locked him in the car so he can't even get out to take a piss, except unless he like climbs through the window. I mean, I'm sure he can open the door.
Yeah, why the fuck can't he just get out of the... Is the child safety lock on or some shit?
I'm sure he can. They would be animals to make it so he can't get out of the car at all.
I mean, the window's rolled down. If nothing else, you could just open it from the outside like a human. Yeah.
That's a very Jurassic Park thing.
Clever girl.
Getting pulled through the window like that. This is very Return of the Jedi. Dance with me. Now I'm seeing that subtitle. Oh, Christ.
Yes, this is definitely the calm before the storm. Shit's about to...
Again, it's very Return of the Jedi.
Shit's about to go sideways real fast.
After the Ewoks decide not to eat them.
come Vader's Force Ghost gets to be young again and the other two are still fucking old?
Because George Lucas is a fucking idiot.
Didn't think that one through, did you, George? I always thought it would be more badass if he still just looked like Darth Vader as a Force Ghost. Like, I get the idea, but, whatever.
That's ultimately what I have to say about the special editions in general.
I get the idea, but whatever. I feel like that's probably going to be my reaction to young Han Solo. Huh?
I love how Caesar's like, what the fuck? Alright, so this moment was a big shock in the theater.
Yes. Holy shit. I remember that.
We were all like, oh, goddamn, really?
That was the Michael Keaton behind the door of 2014.
Yes. That was like, oh man, this is the direction this is going to go now? Because then you're like, okay, so I guess it's going to be about his son, and I guess his son is going to take over and fix all this bullshit. It's going to become the Lion King for real. But no.
Yeah, I straight up wasn't sure if he was dead or not in the theater. Like, for a while, I was like, yeah, I think he's fucking dead. Holy shit.
And it's kind of crazy, like, how it goes down that he's not dead. Like, a bunch of shit happens, and then they stumble upon his surprisingly not dead body.
Because what they could have done if they wanted to keep this closer to battle, I guess Koba could have killed his son and then tried to frame the humans for it, but I guess it just makes more sense to have him shoot Caesar.
Well, it's a similar idea.
Oh yeah, I forgot, Maurice does have one line. A great moment, too.
Run.
Be prepared.
Yeah, this is very much so that scene. It's like, oh, good. Let's give the pregnant women guns. Very smart of Koba to decide to burn down his home base. I mean, I get why he wanted to do that, but you know what I mean.
I do like that scene of him, the shot here of him consoling Blue Eyes while they're surrounded in flames. It's quite visually striking.
Yeah, it's certainly symbolic.
I think Maurice instantly knew that it was bullshit.
I don't know. I don't think he got a sense of what was going on until he saw Koba leading the apes. You know?
Yeah.
But I imagine he figured it out pretty quickly.
At the very least, he knows that they weren't involved in whatever happened because he tells them to run.
Certainly not. Well, I think that Maurice and Caesar both have the perspective of, like, there's good guys and bad guys on both sides. It's just easier if we stay separate because it just keeps everybody kind of, you know, on the same page, you know?
Yeah. Because Maurice wasn't he originally a circus orangutan?
Yeah.
So like Caesar, he's seen both sides of the scene with Gary Oldman.
No, he says early on, like, he only ever saw the human's bad side.
Oh, well.
Yeah, this is an amazing scene. This always touches me. Although it's one of these modern movies that has this, like, modern bullshit of, like, people conveniently always have photos open on their phones and their mobile devices, you know? So it's like a photograph more, you know? It's not like, oh, they have to actually go into a folder and look at it specifically, which is more realistic. It's like, oh, I happen to have these pictures open, you know?
Yeah. It's like whenever they do YouTube in a movie, it's hilarious because Hollywood doesn't seem to know how YouTube works.
Well, it's always hilarious because like the video always has like zero dislikes and like 7,000 likes.
Yeah. Like, no, I don't care. The best video in the world has at least 20 dislikes. Come on now.
Because they all have to make it up, so you know.
Or
And
have, like, no
the quality of the like text is never right when they do a CG version of a web page. This is also good foreshadowing for another movie, like the attempt to reach a military base. It might even be like subtler than the sequel baiting that's in the first one. It's more kind of a focus based and based on what's going on in the moment. All right, so definitely no time has passed in between what was last said and what is currently being said, because we're survivors, as Gary Oldman is saying. So as we were saying earlier, he's not the bad guy in this movie at all. He gets totally blindsided here. Although he was definitely ready for this kind of thing before the apes even were thinking about it, or at least before, you know, they were seriously thinking about it. Koba was always thinking about it, but you know, because he had the guns and they were making sure they had all the ammo in case they did have to go up and kill all of them, which was their plan anyway, unless things went well with Caesar. So, you know, I think it's a nicely complicated situation, and I think that at the heart of it, I sympathize a lot more with Gary Oldman than I do with whose character's name is Dreyfus, by the way, than I do with Koba.
Well, yeah, I mean, Koba's the only straight-up villain in really the new franchise at all, because I don't think Jacobs in the first movie is a straight-up villain either. He's really the only sort of...
They're sort of equal. I feel like they're sort of equally that, like, kind of... Well, it's like, what do we discuss? Is he not sympathetic? Like, it's not like he doesn't have a good reason for why he is the way he is. Right?
Yeah, but he's not played sympathetically, though.
I feel like this movie gives him more of a shake that way than Rise does. I mean, that's just because he's more of a character in this. I mean, he's got this nice relationship with Caesar's son, although here he's just taking advantage of it. He's taking advantage of their trust in him by and large here, by following him as a leader because they know that Caesar trusted him, or at least he did. So, he's not sympathetic now, but I think in the broad strokes, it's like, okay, if I was a chimpanzee who had been tortured by people, and then I got real smart and able to operate a gun, I might do this. Right? I think in that sense, he is sympathetic, but maybe empathetic is a better way to put it. However, the trailers made it seem like Gary Oldman was going to send some tanks after some apes. You know, like, that's what that trailer indicated. And it seems like that Woody Harrelson is what we thought Gary Oldman was in this movie. Because it seems like Woody Harrelson is more of like your Culp type, right?
Yeah, that's the impression that I get of him.
Even though this movie is more like a remake of Battle because of the story being basically identical. Oh, that's a great moment. That's a really great little, you know, setup and then payoff with
This
the
entire
guy.
battle sequence, pretty spectacular.
It's pretty much the only major action sequence in the entire movie, and just like the rise of the Planet of the Apes at the end of the last one, it's worth the money. This is not a Dawn, though. That happens at the end.
I think my favorite moment is when Koba gets in the tank. Well, that and him riding through the flames, still wielding machine guns. That's pretty fucking beast. But that moment when he gets in the tank, I love it because like the camera follows it around.
I think it's just because we've never seen anything like this before. Like, we've seen Planet of the Apes go to war, but not like this. We've never seen them do actual, like, chimpanzees and gorillas fighting humans with guns and fire and exploding propane tanks. Oh my god, that's so cool.
Thank God there's no school bus involved here, is all I'm saying.
There is a school bus. Isn't that where Maurice and all of them are imprisoned? Or is that a trolley?
You know what? You're right. That is a school bus, but it's not involved in the battle sequence.
Do you think that that's a reference?
It could be.
There's a trolley right there. Oh my god. For some reason, it's more impactful when I see the apes die than when I see people die. I don't know why. Like, when I see the apes die, I'm like, oh shit, people things are dying here. And when I see the people die, I'm like, yep, that's a thing.
We're very used to people dying in movies.
That's true, isn't it? It's fucked up. Do you think that that's why Planet of the Apes works so well and is so popular? Because the animal imagery makes it more empathetic by and large, I guess, interestingly? More relatable,
maybe,
more cute. I don't know.
Maybe that's why it makes more impact with some people. Personally, as someone who doesn't give a shit, the reason Planet of the Apes works for me is that it's a mad interesting concept. But,
I love this. This is like, I feel like I'm playing Modern Warfare 2 right now. Koba's my commanding officer. Who's got nuts. This is great. This kind of shot could have been really obnoxious, but it works really well. Although right there, you kind of see the weakness of it, where it's like you're kind of stuck. It's like, alright, well now what? And then they just kind of pan to this shot.
There's a huge like whiplash going on right now. I remember from when we saw this in theater, like we come from that epic action scene, perhaps the most epic action scene in an Apes film since Conquest, and then like suddenly it's the next day and everything's all peaceful, and you're like, what the fuck do we do now?
Are you at the next day already?
Yeah, are you not?
No. What's your timestamp?
Fuck.
Now I am.
Hold on. I'm at 1:24:07.
Oh my god, you're so far ahead of me. What happened? I didn't stop at all. Well, I'm at 1:23:33. Pause. So you're at 1:24:07?
Yeah.
Okay. Hot diggity
I don't
damn.
know.
I don't know how you got so far ahead of me.
It must have skipped a little bit when I was in the battle sequence. I don't know.
Caesar's body. See, I didn't even see all this yet. I wanted to talk about this. A bunch of bullshit. Alright. I'm at 1:24:07. I'm looking at Caesar sort of dead.
So we think.
Yeah. Alright. You ready?
Yeah.
Press play in 3, 2, 1, play. This moment was pretty freaky in the theater because it's played so well. Like it isn't a jump scare. Like she doesn't freak out. She's just like, oh wow, this is a big development. And I love the effect on the wound. Like it looks like it's already gone fucking like green and like rotted and shit. It's no good. It looks bad. He's not in good condition.
Because at this point, the first time I saw it, the movie had pretty well convinced me that Caesar was actually dead. So then they come across his body in the forest, and you're like, oh, that's bad. And then he moves his eyes, and I'm like, oh, shit. He ain't dead.
Is this like a kind of like, oh, of course he's not dead, great, drama sucked out? Like, do you think if they actually kill him in war, like it'll kind of lose the impact because they did it like this?
Possibly, but
I doubt it.
It doesn't come across.
Everything I've heard about that movie doesn't sound that way.
It doesn't come across as cheap like it could have, because he's still pretty well fucked up, you know.
Yeah, especially when like later on he's gonna be like climbing the tower and struggling to do it when he has to appear strong to the other apes. That way he can reclaim his leadership from Koba, and he has to fight Koba.
If anything, it's more problematic when you get into like what Gary Oldman does in The Dark Knight, which is fucking awesome in that movie, but it could have come across really fucking lame, you know.
Well, good thing they didn't
like,
kill him in the next. Well, good thing they didn't kill him in the next one, so that way they saved that for Batman.
Yeah.
And they didn't kill him either. Nobody dies in movies.
Damn it, Chris Nolan, the fucking Moffat of Hollywood. You can kill your fucking character. It's fine. I was gonna make a war movie with that kind of mentality.
I'd like to make a movie where somebody dies, huh? Spider-Man: Homecoming, nobody died.
We've been.
Oh
over
no,
the
the first Shocker died. Okay, fine.
He is super dead. Spoilers for anybody who still hasn't seen Spider-Man: Homecoming.
It's not that big of a deal because he does very little shockering in the movie by the time he gets fucking disintegrated.
Yeah, the second Shocker does more shockering than the first Shocker,
And he doesn't even like the name as much.
And people are sitting here listening to this like the Shocker's a legacy character now. Don't worry about it.
It's kind of cool that they did that because he doesn't matter as a character. Anyway, I love this moment. This is my favorite moment. Not my favorite. No, it's not my favorite moment. But it's like it's a really good like. I like that we see that the apes aren't into this, like, because up to this point they've all been a little blind except for Blue Eyes up to what's been going on, you know. But now we're seeing that they're not really into it. Look at Koba. Man, Toby Kebbell, give that man an Oscar just as much as Andy Serkis. Look at that.
Koba's like, kill this man. And the other guy's like, no. And he's like, fucking kill him.
Look at the face. Look at the face. Like, that's so great. This is such like a fucking Goodfellas moment, you know? Like Robert De Niro like comes up to a guy, he's like, yeah, it's alright. Then he just yanks him off to the side, just like rips his ears off, you know?
Yeah, it's a madhouse.
It is indeed. That's a interesting way to kill someone. Interestingly, it's what he did to Jacobs. Kind of. He dropped him from a great height.
That is true.
Do you believe that is intentional?
On his part or on the part of the filmmakers?
Filmmakers.
Maybe.
I don't think he's thinking about it. I think he's like, oh, people are going to die.
Yeah, on his part, definitely not, because, you know, he didn't even engineer the situation with Jacobs.
This is like my favorite moment. This is absolutely my favorite shot and little bit in the entire film. Like, just the imagery of that. You know? That's the dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
He didn't even so much kill Jacobs as he did not save him, like fucking Batman Begins.
You're not wrong. You know, now that I think about it. In a way, all death is just not saving someone when you think about it.
I guess. And we're coming up on, it's the house.
I think they covered it up completely in, like, shrubs because they couldn't get the same house, so it's just the top part that's remains because that's the part that's iconic, you know, that people will remember.
Part that they could make look like the house through digital fakery, yeah.
Yeah. Like, this was not a room in James Franco's house. There's James Franco. They apparently didn't pay him or tell him that they were going to use his likeness, so... For his likeness, I meant to say when I referred to paying him.
What do you think he's in less, this or Alien Covenant?
I think it's a matter of minutes, but I mean, he's more in Alien Covenant, but again, it's only by a matter of minutes.
You're right. Yeah, the stock footage of him in that movie is...
I don't think that's a bad thing either, given the way that movie when like if that character would have been around for the horrifying stuff, he would have been unbearable.
Yeah, it's just a little distracting.
Because everybody else was, so...
Just a little distracting that the character that they killed immediately was James Franco for some reason.
I love how we keep referring to other movies while we're trying to do this. Like, I guess that's what you do.
I find it weird the last two big sci-fi action-y things I can think of with James Franco, he's barely in.
Yeah. Wait, is that a school bus? I'm not convinced now. It's got bars on it.
Maybe it's just a bus.
Is it a prison school bus?
Maybe it's a prison transport bus.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, given that there's fucking chains in it. This is a quarantine zone, though, so who knows what the deal is. It could just be like a high-security transport. Who the hell knows? Bank transport. I mean, presumably that fenced-in area was for, like...
I love the scenes of Malcolm, like, trying to, like, move around in the city, and there's just, like, apes running around all over the place, and he's got to, like, duck behind objects. It feels like a video game.
Yeah, they really need to make a good Planet of the Apes video game. I think there's like one from the early 2000s on the original PlayStation, and it's real bad, of course. But they need to make a good one. You'd have to tell an original story, though. You have to do something totally new and separate from every other version. You can't do something in this universe. You can't do something in the classic timeline. I think you'd have to set it apart. Do like an Arkham thing with it.
Well, obviously, you gotta go Tim Burton verse.
I would say you just do it closer to the book.
Yeah, a book-accurate Planet of the Apes video game could be good.
Well, I just think you just use the book as an excuse to have more advanced weaponry and scenery and a more comprehensive scope. It is amazing that they don't see him. Do you like Malcolm better? I think we talked about this earlier in the commentary, so excuse us if we did. Do you like Malcolm better as a protagonist than James Franco? Will Rodman, as he's known?
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. I don't know why. I think James Franco, you know what, we definitely did talk about this. He's more interesting, but he just... There's something about him that just comes off as more generic, whereas this guy comes off as more honest, as more real.
To me, what it comes down to is I think this guy's a much better actor than James Franco.
That's probably a lot of it as well. More natural as well.
James Franco is the kind of person that needs like a really good script and director behind him.
He had that last time.
He did. But this guy's got a lot more natural talent, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That too is a good moment. See, here's the thing. I don't think Blue Eyes recognized Malcolm, but Malcolm recognized Blue Eyes, and I think that surprises him. Although it shouldn't. He's an idiot. Because I think the idea there was that Blue Eyes at this point is like thinking, oh, all humans look alike. I think they've all adopted that at this point. I've always really liked the symbolism of the scars he gets from the bear attack, you know, paralleling Koba's, you know, his need for action, his need for preparation against the enemy. It's a reminder of that, and that's why he goes with Koba initially, and he made all these mistakes, and now he's trying to rectify them with his dad. This is...
I'm glad, though, that they didn't do a generic sort of, you know, him following Koba and his dad having to convince him that that's not the right way to do things. As soon as Koba goes too far, Blue Eyes is like, whoa, he just went too far.
Again, everybody in this movie makes sense. They're not fucking idiots. Everybody kind of operates under a wonderful umbrella of common sense. So yeah, he once his dad's alive, he's like, oh fuck, all right, let's try to fix things here. This is another contender for my favorite scene, partially because it's just nice to hear Caesar speaking so clearly and so much.
Yeah, so far it's probably the most he's talked. I mean, we'll see when war comes around, because the trailers certainly give me the impression that he'll be doing a lot of talking in that film.
I like that initially this kid drew Caesar yelling, "Go!" all angry and shit, and he just looked like a generic, mean ape. But now, that he's spent more time with him, he draws him as like this, like it's more of just like a portrait, you know?
Hmm.
This movie is so well paced as well. We don't linger too long on anything. Like Caesar's, like the surgery's already done. You know, now he's just recuperating.
Yeah, that's something that the original films we praised a lot as well. Great pacing.
There's always something happening, and I think that that's the case, especially in Rise and Dawn. And I think that that's why they've stood up so well as blockbusters. You know, did she perform surgery on the couch? Because I don't think that's I think you should have used a flat surface.
I mean, ideally, yeah, you want a flat surface, but this isn't exactly peak conditions.
Use a
to operate in.
table over a fucking couch. Like, you're gonna fucking operate on him at an angle?
That could have been a reason. Maybe all the tables were, like, super fucking wobbly or something.
Maybe all the tables had other monkeys on them.
Yes. Of course.
Is Caesar to blame?
For all the shit that went down? No, I'd say that's pretty squarely Koba's deal.
All right, Caesar
because Caesar was totally right. They would have finished up with the dam and left, and it all would have been hunky dory. And then Koba was like, "Nah, fuck that shit."
He's saying it's his fault because he trusted him in the first place because he's an ape. He should have seen from the very beginning that he was a psychopath. And I think that's maybe Caesar's character arc here, is that he realizes that not all apes are good just because they're apes. He's realized that, okay, well, I've developed this frickin' power-hungry psychopath here now. Koba is his fault. He created him. Well, no, he didn't create him. Sort of. He gave him a platform, I guess, to fester his lust to murder people, huh?
You can certainly turn a phrase. Yeah, in that respect, yeah, Caesar certainly has some blame here.
Because Caesar had nothing to do with him getting smart. That was all Jacobs and Will Rodman.
Right. If anything, it's fucking James Franco destroying the planet one movie at a time.
Well, we talked about that. I think that's why he's held up as like an interesting character, is because he killed everybody, including himself, indirectly.
Well, I mean, James Franco was the Ricardo Montalban of the new franchise, which is a sad sentence that I hope I should never have. Never have
he's like the Ricardo Montalban plus, I don't know. He's also kind of like the McDonald, isn't he? Like there at the end, like he's there to bear witness to Caesar's rise to power, you know?
Maybe a little. The first McDonald, yeah. I'd say Malcolm is closer to the second McDonald.
Yeah, definitely, without question.
There's two characters that I only recently realized were separate characters.
In both actor and actual character. I like that this subtly comes back. They don't beat you over the head with this symbol.
Ooh, ape killing a lot of ape.
We're about to get to that, yeah. Dylan, I want to do a time check again just to be sure. I am at 1:39:20. So ape just killed a lot of ape.
Yes, that was my famous reaction in the movie theater.
This is also a good bit. Again, the pacing in this movie is so good. Like, we just passed, 2 days, and now we're into another battle.
It wouldn't even strike me as funny if it hadn't been for the beginning of the movie being Maurice teaching the apes not to kill other apes. That's
definitely intentional, though, don't you think? That he's the one who then murders all the ape? He's going through a character arc with Caesar of, yeah, we're not going to do that because it's fun. We're going to do that because otherwise wrong will be done, you know?
Yeah.
It's it's the same thing as a police officer shooting somebody. It's it's not murder. It's it is murder. It is murder, but it's not. It's murder with a purpose. It's murder when there was no other choice.
I'll go so far as to say not only do I think it's intentional, but I hope it's intentional because I fucking love it.
Yeah, no, it is great. Yeah. I really like that character arc of them opening their goddamn eyes to reality.
If there's one thing you can criticize in the last film a little, is that sometimes when they reuse the lines from the classic movies, it's like, did we really need that, or was that just a wink? I think it would make perfect sense if at some point in this movie Malcolm had McDonald's line from Battle, and he was like, guess they just joined the human race. Because it is kind of the theme of this movie.
So Caesar's had his eyes open. I want to see what this little thing kind of reminds him of. So home. You know, what is home? Family, community, security. Things that Caesar is feeling that he doesn't have, I guess, right now. Meanwhile, he's currently in his old home. But all of the stuff that he cares about in the present, you know, this is all the past, ghost stuff that doesn't really matter anymore. You know, nostalgically, it has lots of importance, but in the here and now, it means nothing, except to remind him that he has something to fight for when it comes to what he's built since then, from the lessons that Will taught him. And I think that's why Malcolm comes in here, is to go, oh, well, here's another guy who I like to remind me of the things I've learned of late that I should have remembered anyway, given what Will taught me. And I think that the bit earlier where he's talking to Maurice about, like, humans, you know, having not seen them for so long before all this shit happened. And now he's sitting in his old house where Will raised him. I think that he's crashed back down to earth. He's remembered who he is in a way. It's good shit. It's really good shit.
That's all super deep and interesting, but I don't think you're asking the right questions, Bill. Obviously, the right question is, where did they get the fucking horses?
That's a good question, but they don't have horses here. They're walking. I think that the horses are a symbol of power that the gorillas and the militaristic side of the Apes universe is always represented. Think about it. Caesar in the original movies, he ain't riding around on a horse. He's running. Now fight like apes. He's playing dead and then shooting motherfuckers. This Caesar, he did the whole horse thing in the last one, but in this one, when it's time to get down and dirty and actually fight a proper battle, look at him. He's sneaking around.
Yeah.
He's doing all this solid snake stuff.
That's one thing that I hope we get a little of in war, is I'd like to see the guerrillas start to take on that more militaristic bent that we know them for in the original franchise, because they don't really have that yet. I mean, they're sort of guarding the entrance to the ape village at the beginning, so that's kind of, you know,
doing a questionable job of it.
That's kind of what they eventually become later on, you know, the soldiers, the policemen sort of thing. But I'd like to see, if Caesar's going to die, then I need to see them and the orangutans stepping into the fore in the next movie, I think.
We need to see some kind of hierarchy outside of him, you know, like him or Maurice. Like, because now that there's no Koba, I get a sense that there's power vacuums and that there's apes that split off from Caesar, is the sense that I get.
Yeah,
oh, well, we already know that that's a thing, because there's some of them working with people. It's not just Luca, which we now know is that gorilla's name, not Aldo. Fuck you, Matt Reeves, you suck a giant cock.
Yeah, maybe they're saving Aldo for the actual future.
He could be in the movie. I mean, that's not outside the realms of possibility.
Save him for the actual future. Don't blow your load on all these names like you're doing with Nova and Cornelius, damn it. Let a few of these characters...
but Caesar in the original timeline had a son named Cornelius.
That's true. So they get a pass on that one. But the Nova thing, I'm not sold on that.
No, that's fine. They're not gonna do that kind of thing anyway. When they do eventually do the whole astronaut storyline, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be very different, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess.
Although you'd think they would use that opportunity to go, no, you know what, you can't go closer to the book if you're going to do it like that. It's got to be a new thing with the vague kind of like, oh, we're sort of doing Planet of the Apes, the original.
What if as a reference, since they already had a girl named Nova, they named the chick that the astronaut, you know, falls in love with in the actual astronaut story, they name her Linda, after Linda Harrison. So all this shit is like some of the tensest shit in the movie. Like,
I was about to say it's great.
Gary Oldman and John Connor are now coming at odds with one another.
How come I keep thinking Gary Oldman was in a Terminator movie? I know he wasn't. Because Christian Bale, his co-star, was in a Terminator movie as John Connor.
Right, in the same like period of time when they were still doing the Batman movies together. So
yeah.
No, the one that always freaks me out is when I remember, oh yeah, Gary Oldman was Dracula once. Like,
this was one of the only things about this movie that bothers me is this scene, because Malcolm is a bad explainer, right?
Yeah, but it's a tense situation, you know.
I know that he has to stop them above all else, and that it's better to stop them than to explain. But they're not, like, they're pretty reasonable guys, you know? Like, look at them. They're just sitting there making their little bombs, and he's just going to point a gun at them.
I don't know. After what they've been through, and it is kind of an outlandish story, to be real. I don't know. Maybe he feels like he needs the gun to even get them to take him seriously.
I guess that's true. You know what? He probably shouldn't even. You know what? He probably shouldn't even try to explain to them, because it's just not worth it. Because they're not going to believe him.
Put down the fucking bomb.
Yeah,
Get over there.
yeah. Now that you know, because when we first reviewed this, that was my problem. Was like he should do a better job of explaining. But if he can't do that, which he probably can't, then realistically, he should just come in there going, "Put the fucking bomb down, you goddamn cunt."
Yeah. Maybe a little nicer, because, you know, it's Gary Oldman we're talking about here. He's had a hard life between, you know, the Joker and everything, so...
Dracula. Churchill.
Oh, the stories he could tell. Gary Oldman should be in the MCU somewhere. Where would they put him? What would be a good MCU place to have Gary Oldman?
MCU. I kind of want to, since we're putting Batman actors in Spider-Man movies, I kind of like to keep him there. And if we're going to do that, I feel like he would be a really good... he might be a really good J. Jonah Jameson.
Do you think he's got the raw energy for that?
Can you imagine that if he and J.K. Simmons had swapped roles like that?
That would be kind of funny.
That would be amazing. Oh my god. Yeah, I kind of want that to happen now too. No, all right, not J. Jonah Jameson. I'll pick a Spider-Man villain for him. You could do I guess you could do Silvermane. He's not great. He's not a great character. I don't know who you give to Gary Oldman for an MCU character. I mean, I stuck with villains in my head. That's not necessarily the only role he could fill. Uncle Ben? No.
You could blow his head up real big and make him MODOK.
No, you need... No, not that.
Let him overact his heart out. Let him give a Lost in Space.
I guess you put him on Asgard, right?
Asgard? But who would he be?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Asgard, but I think that's probably where he would make the most sense. His sensibilities.
He might have been another good candidate for Odin if that hadn't already been given.
I don't know if he's old enough.
You can make him look old enough.
I guess. He's not imposing enough to be Chris Hemsworth's dad. Anthony Hopkins is imposing enough to be Chris Hemsworth's dad.
By that logic, he's not really imposing enough to be in Asgard.
I don't know about that. We should be talking about Caesar and Koba fighting, though, because it's really cool.
Yeah, I love the swinging back and forth on the chains and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, it's good that Caesar's using his head more than he is his fist, because he's really fucked up. Although that was a really good karate move he just pulled there, where he grabbed the pike with his fucking foot and shoved it in Koba's face. It's all the action in this is really memorable. Like the deer hunt at the beginning, the fight between Koba and Caesar, obviously the battle sequence not that long ago. You know, there's not a lot. It's again, this is not like a fucking explosion a minute movie, but all of the action is really impactful and really cool and really unique, and it means something, and it's character driven. I like the way this ends too, with all the human stuff, where it's really clear setup for like, you know, human militaries are coming to fight off the apes, and now it's the question of who's going to take over the planet. I think that's the interesting question now that the next movie has to kind of answer is like, well, now we know that apes have their own little civilization in conjunction with the remnants of human society. How do the apes take over completely? Right?
Yeah. That's where we're headed. That's where we've always been headed.
You know, so it's like Rise is, okay, how do they get smart? And how do they get off on their own? Dawn is like, all right, well, how do they carve their own civilization? And then the next one will be like, well, how do they take over the planet?
The interesting thing about this franchise, I mean, we've all seen 68, and even those of us who haven't know what it's about. So, like, we always know where we're headed. It's all just a question of how we're getting there.
It'll just be interesting to see where the next one ends off, because they don't do, like, time skips at the end of these. Like, they're very much so, like, and now you can guess where things will go next.
Well, they haven't done time skips in these. You never know.
Well, they did time skips in the last one. This at the end, like I mean, like at the last second, it's like now 45 years later, or like 3,000 years later.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. I don't know if I can see them doing that, but they could.
I don't know if they'll need to. It'll just depend on what the natural conclusion will be.
What's interesting is the way Caesar. I just not thought of this. We were talking about it earlier. The way Caesar gets rid of Koba in this movie is kind of similar to how Koba got rid of Jacobs in the last movie. It's not so much outright killing him as it is being like, nah, I ain't helping your ass.
Yep, you're absolutely right. That's a better analogy than what I said before.
And he also does it like so gangster. Like Koba's like, ape not kill ape, and he's like, you're not an ape. Like, that's some cold shit to say right before you drop it.
That's probably the scene that's the most direct parallel to battle.
I mean, right there, just fucking play the Thug Life music and fucking put the sunglasses on Caesar, because holy shit.
Do you think that Caesar is an idiot for trusting him? Having trusted him in the past? At all? For letting him gain so much power in his little civilization?
Yeah, if there's any one thing that you can give Caesar blame for in this entire scenario, because I think for the most part, he was just, trying his best, and shit went sideways. But if there's any one thing that you can straight up point to and be like, yeah, you fucked up right there, it's even having Koba, ascend that far in the ranks. He was, if he had been less blinded by his ideas of like how apes were better than humans, he might have noticed how obviously fucked up Koba was.
But it's like he can't have not noticed. It's just a matter of if he cared. But it's like you'd think that he would have just given him a lower rank, like just pounded him down. It might have been more interesting had Koba just forced himself upwards and Caesar been sort of stuck with him there, because he had operated under this whole idea of like, oh, all apes are cool with me. He was kind of stuck with them.
I think he was operating under an idea of like, he's kind of creepy, he's a little fucked up in the head, but he's an ape. He'd never.
But he's not though. They're very close. Like that's the interesting thing. Like Koba personally protects Caesar. There's also a lot more apes than I think we realize. How many apes do you think Caesar has under his command?
That's a good question. You know, they've been breeding ever since the last movie.
That's true.
I don't know how long it takes for an ape to reach sexual maturity, but I imagine it's shorter than it takes a human. Most animals don't take as long as we do. So there could be several generations by this point, depending on what the... Again, I don't know the figure. There's also a matter of, like, other apes that maybe have, you know, found their way to Caesar after having been exposed to the virus, you know. Circus apes, zoo apes, shit like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I think there's... Do you think that there's other tribes out there at this moment that he has nothing to do with yet?
Possibly. I mean, realistically, you would think so.
They call it simian flu. I'm assuming that the virus, that as it was exposed to humans, could be transferred to apes and give them the intelligence that the gas gave all the other apes. Maybe not as much.
Even if it's just the milder form of intelligence that most of the apes get. Because Caesar's a special case. He's got the whole origin story where his mom...
Well, yeah, none of them are ever going to be as smart as him. Except maybe his own kids.
Well, when we go into the far-off future and they're all fucking...
Yeah, his direct descendants will probably be smarter than him.
Damn it, I just need a Zaius at some point. Give me a Zaius. With his fucking orange robes and his Shakespearean dialogue. Bring him back. Damn it. Same actor. Digitally recreate him. Do it Tarkin style. I don't care.
This is a really good scene. Because it's just one of the better... The Caesar's humanity is best expressed, you know? Not his terrifying, intimidating chimpness. It's his human quality, you know? His humanity, his empathy.
Yeah, maybe it's just because the Tim Burton thing didn't go over so well. But they've fully reverted away from the whole, you know, the more realistic idea of, like, how chimps... Because, you know, in real life, chimps are fucking... They would all be Cobas if it was accurate. You know what I mean?
Again, Caesar's a special case, and I assume that... But I think that kind of... Yeah, you're probably right, but I assume there's a variety. And I don't think Koba would be all of them. They wouldn't all want revenge. I think all of them would have different random motivators, you know? Like, whatever was motivating them, we'll never know. Like, you can just see a sea of chimps and occasionally an orangutan, and then it's like, oh, shit, there's one gorilla.
Yeah. It's just hilarious that the films have always, you know, gone for the stereotypical idea of, oh, the gorillas are fucking, you know, the tough guys, and then, you know, through science we find out that they're actually, like, the most docile of these species that we see here. You know, it's weird. It's all shaped by the ideas of what apes were like that were around in the 60s. Many of which not totally accurate.
This ending disappointed me a bit in the theater because I wanted a little more. You know, I wanted a little more like Planet of the Apes. But I think now it's not like supposed to. It's not supposed to be like Rise, where it's like, well, this is the Planet of the Apes now. This is like, all right, stuff's gonna happen now. And we're going to
really
see it.
Rise didn't even really get that far. It just sort of created that feeling.
Yes, it did that more accurate, but it did it more than this does. This is more like, well, we're going to see what's going to happen next, so it's a little less specific about it. There was a deleted ending where I think things were more clear, where you actually saw battleships coming in through the San Francisco harbor, you know?
Hmm.
But even then, that's still not like, oh, Planet of the Apes. It's still, you know, it's like, we're going to have war now.
Can you imagine if they'd actually had
the horns?
If they'd actually... No. Well, yes. No, if they'd actually had Harrelson cast that far back, and then, like, at the end you just see an army coming in, and he's just fucking there, like, fucking, oh, yeah, we're going to kick some ass.
This shot is them showing off. I mean, look at how amazing that looks. My God. Oh.
Yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
I like the difference in his eyes, by the way. At the very beginning, he was, like, pissed off and angry and ready for fucking battle. And then at the end of this, he's like, oh, God, this sucks.
It may have been the dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but it was the dusk of this series of commentaries.
Yeah, D, that's it. My God, we talked some fucking apes, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Man, we just did commentaries on 8 whole movies, and I certainly feel it. We didn't do it all right now. We did it over the course of 2 months, but we did it.
We did. Is that more or less than we did for Kong?
It's less.
Okay. We'll have an addendum.
We're releasing it over a longer period of time, though. Interestingly.
Yeah, we'll have an addendum to that to do before long as well.
Yep. Yeah. Excuse me.
With your Kong Skull Islands coming on, we've got some ideas for some potential other series of commentaries like these. They're a lot of fun if fraught with technical difficulties.
Yeah, they are fun, but they are definitely they take a lot of time and a lot of commitment. So we don't do these without a lot of thought and a lot of care put into it. So most of the time, so we always enjoy the outcome when it's as positive as it was for the week of Kong, and as we hope that it is this time, since it's not done yet. Because we may be done recording them, but we're still in the midst of posting them. It's only day 3 as this is being recorded, but it's the final day that you're listening to it, so congratulations, you're done. And we hope that you enjoyed. It's already out by the time this will go up, so we hope you enjoyed War for the Planet of the Apes, and we hope that you'll join us for our spoiler analysis of it on the next episode of the Sons of Sarazawa podcast. So, Dylan, any closing thoughts on? I guess we should start with this movie. So let's start with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Any closing thoughts on that?
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is my second favorite of the entire franchise as of 2014, and it's just a damn good movie. Like even people who might not necessarily be into the franchise, I would say give it a shot, because it's just a fucking fantastic. Especially there's a lot of fascinating stuff near the beginning where we see the direction that the ape society has taken post Rise, and then go on from that, and you've got good characters and a kick-ass action storyline in the last hour. It's a lot of fun. It's very entertaining. It's a super fucking good movie. Go watch it.
I think it's a better standalone story than Rise. I think it works better as a one-and-done movie than any of the Planet of the Apes movies do, maybe except the original. But for a modern audience, I think certainly this would work better. But on a level of just pure entertainment mixed with thought-provoking, storytelling, it's unmatched by many modern blockbusters. They're one of a kind. This one in particular, for its just really emotional and just competent and just uniquely profound storytelling. So I don't know, man. I don't know how they keep doing it, but they keep doing it.
Thank you, Hollywood, for finally rebooting something without fucking dumbing it down.
Yeah, it's if anything, it's smarter.
it's the exception to the rule, certainly.
And we can't wait to see what they do next. But on the whole, as a conclusion, as a little cap on looking back on this franchise, do you think that we're truly at a better place now than we were even back in the good old days? Is it the best time to be an Apes fan right now?
That's a damn good question.
I'll tell you what.
On the one hand, the modern franchise has created a lot of interest in the franchise that wasn't there before. Particularly among people who are actually my age. However, there is also a contingent of those people who only enjoy the new films and they can't go back and look at the old. I've seen that in comment sections, and it frustrates me.
I don't give a fuck. But it's
kind of the Pacific Rim thing all over. On the one hand, it created
Yeah.
a whole bunch of new kaiju fans, but on the other hand, they were fucking stupid and they thought the word kaiju came from that movie.
I think we talked about it a lot in Rise. It carves its own identity as kind of its own thing because of its character-driven story about Caesar, making it that way. But we know that is a very important element of the Planet of the Apes mythos. I think the fact that it doesn't matter is why these movies are so good. And the fact that Planet of the Apes is so viscerally recognizable, I think that's a testament to how long it will continue to be relevant and continue to be remembered. That we can make these movies about one kind of smart chimpanzee trying to, get justice for his people. And that's Planet of the Apes now, like that's our kind of modern spin on it. We don't need an entire planet full of apes in clothes doing human stuff. We just need this one character, who's incredibly goal oriented, I guess is the way to put it. So at the end of the day, we just need good storytelling, and I think that you talk about this a lot as well. It's one of the best sandboxes to just tell any story. So as long as you've got a good standalone story, just throwing it into Planet of the Apes is only going to make it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
as long as it fits. I mean, it's got to fit somewhat,
well, sure, you can't just have dinosaurs in the desert, but even then, if you're going to put that in Planet of the Apes, I can't think of a better way to make it tolerable.
There is no even that. Don't do that. Don't
Don't make it okay.
Just don't do it. Go write in a Jurassic Park anthology if that's what you want.
Well, I think I will now. Dylan, what else needs to be said? What else? Any closing thoughts on the entire franchise for you?
It's fucking good. Go watch it.
Tattoo that on your chest. There you go.
I also highly recommend, I don't remember if we talked about this in previous commentaries. We probably did. But I would highly recommend anyone who's, maybe you've seen the new films, but you're still getting yourself introduced to the classic series. I would definitely recommend the 1990, I want to say 9 documentary, Behind the Planet of the Apes with Roddy McDowall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they haven't done a modern, better version of that with all the new canon. So that is still the best version of that. So yeah, definitely seek that out.
So it doesn't cover, Tim Burton or the new series, but it's a great overview of the original franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It would also help you make a list if you're trying to figure out, okay, what are the movies I need to see? Although, to be honest, you should just go out and buy the Legacy Bundle because it's on Blu-ray now. You can find it. I see it at Walmart all the time for, cheap. So, not a difficult series of films to get your hands on.
Do it! Watch them! Because we just talked about them. Presumably you already watched them, because we just did. But if you didn't and you just listened to these, you're a madman. Or a mad ape. I don't know. You tell me. So, Dylan, I think that's it. So, join us next time for our continued adventures in podcasting and the Demons from Outer Space and the Sons of Sarazawa podcast. Again, we're going to review the next Planet of the Apes on SOS soon enough. But you should definitely check out all of our shenanigans as they go on. Until then, I'm Bill Worster, a.k.a. Zazubaar.
And I'm Super DM64.
Reminding you that it's a madhouse! A madhouse.
God damn you all!